Hi class and welcome to Datt 1100. Today we'll be discussing an article from the New Media Reader called Video Games and Computer Holding Power by Sherry Turkle. This video will cover information about Sherry Turkle, will summarize the article for you, and will elaborate on the context and its relation to modern society. So let's begin. Sherry Turkle is an American citizen born in 1948. She's a professor at MIT and has a BA in social studies and a PhD in sociology and personality psychology at Harvard. Her research focuses on psychoanalysis and human-technology interaction. She's written multiple books such as The Second Self and Life on Screen that focus on psychology and human relationships with technology. Now let's jump right into the summary. Video Games and Computer Holding Power is a passage from Sherry's book, The Second Self. The book was published in 1984. In Video Games and Computer Holding Power, Turkle discusses the impact video games have on individuals and its transition into mainstream culture. Throughout time, even in current society, video games are often taken to be simplistic child's play. Turkle challenged this common misconception by understanding the impact video games and technology have on our lives. She shows through the article how to evaluate relationships with technology. In the article, she discusses the implications and consequences video games have on both youth and adults. The main idea emphasizes the hold that computers have on us. She makes the claim that computer culture is a culture of rules and simulation. She uses video games to prove this notion through various examples. The argument Turkle puts forth is that video games go beyond just having good hand-to-eye coordination. Video games require both logic and strategy in order to be played successfully. She challenges societal views on video games by arguing the danger of video games is not mindless play, rather than the infatuation and with the challenge of simulated worlds. Video games give people the ability to construct identical, simulated experiences that cause certain individuals to strive for protection within rule-governed nature of the game itself. Turkle uses the example of a pinball and its transition to video games to exhibit her notion. She states that video games have risen above the mechanical limitations of a pinball. Due to technology advancements, programmers can recreate a representation of a pinball that is able to defy the laws of gravity. Her argument is that although video games, when taken to obsessive extremes, can be harmful, the simulated challenge they create and total concentration is a form of relaxation. This demonstrates that while video games can negatively impact individuals, others can still benefit. Now let's move on to the context of the article. Turkle, a psychologist, has made a career in making mention of how people act differently on computers and in non-computing situations, discovering that computers allow for people to take on altered psychological roles that differ from reality. Turkle's early study earned her a spot on Wired magazine, as it celebrated our early life on the internet. In her early study, she put the computer at a high standard, explaining that it was a tool we can use to learn more about our identities and live better lives in the real world. In her current-day study, she explains how it is overtaking and predetermining our lives. The article provides a deeper understanding of the holding power of video games and the relationship they have with the computer culture, conclusively relating interactions with video games and other kinds of computers that allows for critical examination of the holding powers computers have on us in the real world. Now, how does this relate to current times? So the examples throughout the article are video games with a simple goal and a unique path towards the ending, such as Pinball and Dungeons & Dragons. Today, most of the video games have an open world concept. In such video games, the players are capable of exploring the virtual world freely, whenever the video game has a main storyline or not. Moreover, the high-speed internets provided these days, video games can be played online with friends or strangers. Turkle writes about how players in a video game version of Pinball interact with a simulation of a ball and object. Through these modern video games, however, players can communicate with a virtual avatar or someone from across the globe while roaming freely in a simulated realm. With the introduction of virtual reality and VR devices in recent years, virtual worlds have gotten much closer to reality. Now players can go far beyond what they could years ago in video games. Although this begs for more intense conversation about Turkle's main argument, that mindless playing video games is not a danger but the infatuation with the challenge of simulated worlds might be. Thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed.